All right, what's going on YouTube? So, good news. This guy came off like a breeze. I tell you, these printers, this thing's smarter than I am. I don't know what it did to the settings, but man, this thing just popped right out of there like you wouldn't. And look how shiny that is. Look how smooth. I mean, just crazy. So, miraculously, I did really well with the supports. This support was, where was this one? This one was like on the bottom, I think. Or no, this one was, yeah, this one was sort of like right there. That one came off really nice. This one was actually kind of between here like that, and it was right there, and I just kind of really carefully pushed it from one edge and pushed it from the other and kind of really careful with it, and it just broke free. Super nice. And if you look, this is exactly what we're going for, right? Look at that flex. Look how cool that is, okay? So let's do a couple things real quick. First, we'll do the belt test because I have better feeling about the belt test. So let's see how we do here. Oh no! What happened? Oh no! I didn't... Ooh. I forgot I didn't do something right. Okay, I know what I did. So, we're about that much away. We're about a millimeter and a half, give or take 1.5, 2 millimeters away. So what I realize now is that I had enough depth for the whole belt, but where I brought this top edge, I didn't double check the inside measurement to make sure my inside measurement was still a millimeter bigger than the belt. So that's actually okay. What I think I'm going to do on this one, which is going to be slightly aggravating, is I will sand this inside edge just a little bit. And I can go back into the design, and what I'll probably, gosh, see, I could stretch this whole top up, but I don't know if that messes up my rounded edge. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but I don't know how that works. Because if I guess I could probably steal a millimeter out of here. Yeah. See, I was just worried about, I didn't want this to be too weak, so I gave it like, I don't know, 6 or maybe like 7 or 8 millimeters or something. Okay, so goofed a little bit on the belt. Let's see how we're doing in category number 2. Oh wow, we are snug. Woo, we are snug. Oh, and we're open. Are we opening up a little bit? Oh, we are. Okay, so we are opening up just ever so slightly. Wow, that's... Okay, so this is what I was talking about with the top here. You can see I sort of goofed on the, some engineer I am, right? But this was just kind of an ad hoc thing, to be fair. I don't even have a good set of calipers with me on the moment. Another fail as an engineer, so I was sort of roughing this from a inch. But, wow, I am... Whew. Come on, baby. Yeah, that is really snug. But at the same time, yeah, so this, and I wonder if I got it all the way closed. This thing is like 19.05 wide or something, so I'm about, I'm just about, I'm a hair, I don't know, a few thousandths of an inch. I want to, but at the same time, I don't mind it being a little snug because I don't want it jumping out. I want to be able to kind of go around and. So, anyways, I'm actually really, a couple little goofs aside on the on that little distance and maybe the width and just a little bit of indentation. But in general, I like how snug that is. That's really snug. In fact, it's almost too snug. I wonder how much I could get away with, like if I... You know, I think I might just do it like that. Because it's so snug in there, by the time you get it all the way down, you really can't grab it up, which is sort of part of the problem. So I think what I'll actually do is I'll think, okay, this is actually kind of a nice way to grab it, right? Because you have these little hinges here, so you can kind of pull it right out. So I think what I'm going to do is design the next one so that this is completely, that's the depth, that's the full depth, right? So it's sticking out this much. And as you can see, that's still super solid and not going anywhere. So what I can do then is, yeah, and I wonder if I'll have to bring the back up, because if it's that short, yeah, see, maybe about that short, I might have to redesign this so that instead of, say, I wanted to have this little indent here so that when it's going on the belt, it's a little bit easier to go on. It's a little bit easier to clip on the belt, just like a nice, you know, feature. But if I make it that depth, I'm going to have to come down off the top of that a little bit, but that's okay. Well, overall, I'm still pretty pleased with the result. It did take a little bit longer than I thought. Well, maybe not longer than... Actually, it did take a little longer than I thought it would to print, because it said about 2 hours and it ended up taking about 3. Maybe I didn't see the final time estimate, but I went at 30% infill. I wanted it to have a little bit of stiffness. I didn't want it to be too weak. I think the sort of default's like around 20. It actually originally had it like this, and I don't know if... I didn't have... You know, this was all the support that I had, so I think as far as how much support I used, aside from the raft, I think I did fairly well on the support, because if I printed it like this, I would have had to have support all in here to get those overhangs, right? So I think it wanted to put it horizontal, so I'm wondering if it thought it was going to print it faster like that. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll have to mess around and put it horizontal and vertical and see which way it thinks it's going to give me a better estimate on printing, but it's pretty slick. You know, it's pretty cool to be able to design this in about 20 or 30 minutes. Looks like I should have spent about 10 more minutes on it, but to design this, you know, a few hours later print it and have a very functional prototype. And of course, part of the reason I wanted to just kind of print this thing is to experiment a little bit on, you know, the size. Like, how snug of a fit is that? Yeah, that's a very, very snug fit. And how flexible is this? Okay, how much strength am I getting from that much? How much rigidity am I getting from, I think this is 4 millimeters, 3 millimeters? I think that's 3 millimeters of the PETG, and it's you know, it came out exactly as I envisioned it. It's good stuff. Yeah, these darn... It's alright. These little hinges threw me off. Oof. Yeah, definitely got to make it shorter, because I can't have people trying to grab their multi-tool and then they can't grab it. Plus, the shorter it is, I mean, that much printing is probably like 20 minutes of printing just to print that many layers, you know. So the shorter and smaller and simpler I can make parts. In fact, this edge coming in right here, I could probably drop that. I could probably shave a few millimeters off that. I don't know how many, but I've seen other designs and they're really not super generous with the amount that it overhangs on the front, probably because they think they're getting a lot of friction from the back side and these sides, which is true, especially in this case. But anyways, thanks for watching my little experiment here with home manufacturing. I'm definitely glad that I spent the time to take a prototype so I can do a little tweaks on the depth, on this distance, on the amount, sort of the shape of the frame. And version 2.0 should be a lot closer to a final product. And once we have the final product, then we're going to get rich selling 3D printed sheets, right? Probably not, but in the meantime, I'll have something to entertain myself and give me a little bit of practice with the CAD and bringing things from the digital world into the real world. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and keep 3D printing.